It's not just that the issues are so important, it's that we can do something about them.
Action research.
Vera is a think and do tank.
The efficient management of justice.
Innovation.
It's about sort of actually being in a position to impact system change.
Partnering with government.
It's a beacon in criminal justice.
Commitment to diversity.
And there are so many different projects within the portfolio of Vera.
People from around the world look to Vera.
Vera grew inductively. It grew from the very first project when we went into the jail cells to find out how to deal with bail, to show you can make the system fairer and more effective at the same time.
And then came the creative spark, the innovative idea. You could let them out and they would still show up in court. Then came the research. Try letting them out and see what happens. Gather the data.
To actually link empirical research findings to common justice sector problems. Vera was ahead of the field.
We knew in order to learn you had to kind of surround the problem. You had to ask a lot of people. People released on our recommendations and they came back.
Today we recognize a major development in our entire system of criminal justice, the reform of the bail system.
Vera is partnering with government to generate projects that demonstrate a better way to provide service to people in society.
Project Renewal,
Wildcat, the Neighborhood Defender Service,
Cases,
CEO.
And all of them have been successful.
So we create the organization, get it on its feet, then we spin it off and we're on to the next new idea.
It worked to keep Vera focused on the cutting edge and doing innovative things.
There's 15 different spin-offs that we've done. All of them are still in existence and many of them are much larger than Vera is today.
Safe Horizons, providing services to victims of crime, 350,000 a year. That's incredible. It's almost the population of Staten Island.
Job Path and Easy Ride were a couple of programs of Vera that I was particularly impressed with. And persons with disabilities who need a little help should get it. And Vera provided that.
La Bodega de la Familia, which helps families that have to go through problem of drugs with drug counseling, family services, family counseling.
We do development of the innovations, the policies or programs, and then testing, and then later institutionalizing.
Which we continue to do to this day, that you want to try things, you want to test them. Everything we do is about fairer, more efficient justice.
We spend $60 billion a year on incarceration in this country. What it buys you is a 50% recidivism rate. We know that there are more things that can be done both for people in prison and then once they leave prison.
What do you need to be mindful of and how can you help smooth the path of reentry for that person? Gotten some very interesting responses. I walked in, I would have said there was no way that we would fund something like this. Walk out and thinking that race-specific programming may be necessary, may be required.
Looking at who comes into prison. Are we putting people in because we have no other options? The debate started on how we were going to save all these prison beds. As the state were educated on what the impact of substance abuse is, what the lack of treatment does, and how it recycles these people over and over, and how it affects their families, their communities, their schools. I heard a legislator say, we started out doing this because it was going to save us beds, but we should do it because it's the right thing to do.
Same offense, dissimilar treatment. A system like we're trying to develop is all about data collection. You look at marijuana arrests, demographics being what they are. That's the beauty of this. It's not about proving anything. It's about giving the managers and the prosecutors a tool to respond to these trends.
Their life is in danger in that moment. Some services actually screen out some women with disabilities. When they're turned away or when they can't access services, they're forced to go back to their batterer.
It's not really just about Vera, it's about the people that Vera serves.
Guardianship is designed to help people who become incapacitated. Most of our clients are elderly or disabled people and need help usually with healthcare decisions or financial management. Usually they would appoint a family or friend, but if there's no such person available or willing to serve, the court may appoint a guardian. Our primary duties are to make sure that the person can have the maximum amount of autonomy and independence possible. One of the great things about this project is that we can show real dollar savings for our government partners. Medicaid rate in nursing home about $10,000 a month. 1 month of those savings more than pays for a year of services with us, and it can offset the cost of a whole lot of other people getting services from us.
Napoleon Shaw is a 42-year-old man who is mentally retarded and who currently lives in a residence for mentally retarded people.
Napoleon's mother was very sick. She died. So Napoleon didn't have any family members. He was all alone.
I didn't know who I could go to.
We have on a few occasions been appointed co-guardian because it's a lot of legalese, guardianship, to help people navigate that system and still provide the care for their loved ones that they want to do. We actually also offer a component. It's called the Guardian Assistance Network.
The family guardians have a difficult time. The judges know that because there are no guardianship projects like what the Vera Institute does.
What do you call the other one? I forgot.
The order and judgment.
And I keep telling her, don't go anywhere. don't leave this job because I really need you there.
Kids who get involved in the juvenile justice system are much more likely than the average population to experience substance use and mental health problems. Difficulty is then to attach services or offer help that will then stick or stay with the family, given that once you get into the system, you're in for a journey. Without a program like APT, you're less likely to be given a shot to stay at home and try to work through your difficulties with the support of your family.
Because I wanted to stop smoking and I wanted to stop drinking, so I decided, this would really help me, so I signed up for it.
He realized that he was going down a certain path and that he didn't want his life to look like that.
Vera just helped that anger go from up there to down there. And a lot of family issues that built up my anger back in the days, but Vera helped me with that too. It got me and my mom talking about the situations that we used to go through.
Started respecting, having more respect, following his curfew like he's supposed to, and making the right choices.
What we are for government is an opportunity to help them participate in a way of keeping kids from going further into the system without getting the help that they need.
We've not only seen children getting treated for substance abuse problems, research shows family functioning has improved, their school attendance has improved.
Kids who participate in our program, at the completion of the program and then down the road, are less likely to have mental health issues, more likely to have better educational outcomes.
After coming to Vera, I started doing my schoolwork again, started to see my moms again.
It makes a huge difference knowing that the program that you work for has been tested. They're doing work that is proven effective and it's actually improving people's lives.
APT really helped us a lot to work on the relationship and hopefully we will stay strong together.
We're particularly interested in how September 11th had an impact on relations between Arab American communities and law enforcement. We have a long history of working with communities and with government in a way not only is sensitive to issues that both are facing, but helps to kind of bridge the gap.
This was the first attempt by a neutral, non-Arab American organization that undertook what our community considered to be a real, valiant effort.
مرحبا بكم معنا في هذه الحلقة من برنامج من واشنطن.
After we published the report, we got endorsements from the FBI, local law enforcement agencies, and from community leaders who all found the report balanced, fair, and useful.
And I was very encouraged by the report because if you read the whole 30 pages, it says the FBI is working very hard at this. And it says that the agents they talk to understand the problem.
The many members of the community that have become aware in my community of the Vera Institute and their project and their research, it's a very positive reaction.
And where we're a little different than the early Vera is we're bigger. We still do the demonstration projects. We do a lot more work nationally now, and we do a lot more work internationally.
You can then take the knowledge and learning from New York City and apply it.
Currently, we're consulting with academics in China, also developing measures to understand rule of law in other countries.
We like to build our programs to be replicable. We like to make clear to policymakers why they should use that knowledge. We work with very conservative folks, we work with liberal folks. What unites all the people in government we work with is not their political affiliation. It's a desire on their part to try to take on tough problems and try to come up with innovative solutions.
I'm confident that Vera will continue to be a source of good justice ideas for another 45 years.
We're not an advocacy organization, and one of our goals is to find those commonalities and get very, at least initially, unlike-minded actors to agree.
I mean, the fact that Vera was approached to do this HIV clinical trial program is a good example of can't get a potentially more racially divisive issue than that. An agency that you can trust to come back with an honest answer that both sides can listen to, I think is a real testament to the reputation that Vera has garnered.
I would think 10 years from now, Vera would have had breakthroughs on 4 or 5 specific subjects and will have continued to keep to its core strengths. Make it more fair, make it more efficient, do the work with government without attacking government, let the people in government take most of the credit, spin off successes, and I'm certain that without being able, any of us sit here and predict what the breakthroughs will be, that there will be more breakthroughs over the next 10 years.
So long as there are problems. So I think that Vera can continue this model for a long time to come. I mean, because there's no shortage of social issues still to deal with.